Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining the webinar today. So today we cover the agenda with the three speakers. The first speaker is Satoshi Kanemura from Sony. He is making an opening remarks. And next speaker, Yu Kitamura, myself. I'm going to introduce the Sony Smart Agriculture Solution, featuring the stand count capability for the coming season. And the third speaker is Mr. Adam Taylor from Drones Made Easy, who's going to talk about this let your drone do the flying with MapPilot Ag. The Drones Made Easy, they developed the software to be compatible with our Sony solution. So the couple of the housekeeping things before I get into this first speaker. Firstly, this session is going to be recorded, and the archive is going to be published later, and you will have the information where you can have the archive recordings later in this session. And secondly, the question and answer. So if you have any questions, please write the questions to the question area on the GoToWebinar panels. Then we will answer the questions at the end of the sessions. And now let's move on to this first speaker, Satoshi Kanemura.
Thank you, Yu. How do you do, everyone? This is Satoshi Kanemura, head of Sony Business Incubation. How are you? Thank you so much for joining our webinar today, even during such difficult time. I truly hope you and your family are safe and doing well, and hope you enough toilet paper with you. As you can imagine, Sony also faced difficulty, but trust me, our operation is diverse over the states, and then actually our supply chain, warehouse, shipping and service operation is working well as essential needs. So please rest assured, we are able to protect your business by all means, especially you guys. Because agriculture business is also very, very important and essential for human survival. I believe you will soon start planting even such difficult times. So at this webinar, Sony with partner Drone Made Easy to introduce our solution specifically your need right on time by applying Sony's very unique technology. Thank you again for joining today's webinar, and we hope we can work together as business partners and then overcome current tough situation together. Back to you, Kitamura. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Satoshi. So the Sony Smart Agriculture Solution is all about the drone remote sensing solution, and we recognize when you use the drone remote sensing for the agricultures, there are a couple of the difficulties or challenge, and we noticed there are three main challenges, particularly when you use this kind of the drone remote sensing system. So this is a typical workflow. So you fly the drones, making the map, and then checking the map, and then once you identify some deterioration in the field, you might have some ground truthing for identify the cause and then take an action. So the key challenge of all this workflow is firstly making the map for the evaluation of the field. Sometimes takes a time, so several hours, or sometimes even more than a day. So you cannot actually use that data when you are on site flying the drone. You need to come back to the field on the other day after the data is ready. So that's long lead time for the data, the availability. And after that, there are not enough tool for the intuitive diagnostic tools can be used in the field. And then as a result of these things, you may have some more time to take an actions. So what Sony likes to do to tackle these challenges with our solutions. So our Sony Smart Agriculture Solution concept is decision making in the field, leveraging quick actions. So to achieve this, the concept, our solution features fast stitching. So after the landing, you can process the data in field, completely in offline environment, not using any internet, and process the data and having the map ready at the edge of the field within minutes. So that's the first point. Second point is we are providing dedicated field analytics tool for the evaluation of the field, which includes the stand count that I'm going to talk about. And this software is designed for the agriculture use, so not like a general drone flight data management tool. So this is the well fitted with the agriculture use case. So hopefully this is easy to operate for you. Now, today, I'd like to feature this stand count because the planting is coming very soon. So the challenge of the replant decision, so planting and replant decision is the listed here. Obviously, it's a very busy season, so strong time pressure due to the short window replanting time. And when you make the stand count, normally you do manual stand count by yourself in the field, so not enough sampling points to represent the field, resulting in you are maybe the replant whole field instead of the section of the field. And the shortage of the laborers or limited availability of the machinery, those are all the challenges, which is why the more efficient way required for replant decision making and operations. So today, I think this industry common practice is the using this 1,000 acre method. So you walk into the field and count the stands for this 17 feet and 5-inch row, 5-inch, and at the 30-inch rows in the field. And you do this for 5 locations or the 10 location sampling points. And so that's the current method. What we are proposing here is we use the drones covering wide areas, more sampling points, which makes the zoning of this field possible. So that leads to this fair judgment of the field by section, not by the whole field. So let's look at some examples. Now, if you have a limited sampling point and then you need to decide, okay, the replant whole field, you replant whole field. But if you have a multiple enough sampling points, make you define the zoning of the field, then you can maybe replant only the sections, which have a lot of benefit actually. If you make sectional replanting, then you can actually keep the healthy plant going to maximize the yield potential. You don't need to destroy the healthy plant. The replant operation, obviously if you can replant instead of a whole field, just 10% of the field, then the operation time is reduced and the operation cost is reduced. And the seed cost for the replant is also reduced. So you will have the benefit of those. So thinking of this approach of the sectional replanting, we need an efficient way to survey the field, which Sony, the new SunCon feature, like to provide a solution. So our solution is you fly the drones over the field, and the cameras capture the images, and after the landing, you process the data, and you will have the result in minutes. Again, no internet connection is needed, no cloud service needed. You will have the data at the edge of the field in minutes. To do that, we use Sony unique AI counting analytics that helps this kind of the vast data processing in a short time. And we cover this end-to-end workflow. So not only the counting, you can make the zoning using our software, and then you will have the stats if you like to replant or not based on this zoning. So that's the Sony SunCon solutions. And now I'd like to make a quick demonstration of these solutions. So I will switch my screen to the software. Okay. So now you see the software screen. This is the software called Fast Field Analyzer, the Sony Smart Agricultural Solution software. Here, I have some already predefined farms and field defined here, and there is a corn field here, and I have just process the data for this demonstration. It takes actually 2 minutes to process the data of having all this counting solution right after this landing. Now, after the processing, you will have this data here. So this is the point where the image is taken. So if I click here, you can see now this counting result is showing on the screen here now. So the green is detected this stand, and then red is a missing point. So you can see now this image areas is 95% emergence rate. Now, if you click another point here, so this point has actually this 79% emergence rate. So you can see more missing plants in these pictures. So that's all about this sampling point and the analytics here. And also you can check the RGB image, which gives you more maybe the detail things. This is for your visual verification, just in case. And so you can now have this rate here, and you can also actually calculate the stand population. So I now import the planting the script file here, and this planting script file has the variable rate planting map like this. So you can see now variable rate planting map here. And I can calculate the stand number based on this emergence rate. So you specify the target populations. If you make variable rate planting, then you can import this variable rate planting map or the as-applied map, obviously. And if it's like a fixed the planting target rate, let's say 32,000, then you can put the 32,000 here. I have the variable planting map here, so that I calculate this based on that. Now we have this population information here. This point you have the 30.19 thousand per acre, and this point you have 26.5 thousand per acres. Okay. Now the next step is you will make the zoning. So I can specify the zoning section cell size. Just put this 60 feet here now. Now you can see the grid mapping data based on this sampling. It's like a soil sampling method. And you have this population map, and you have the emergence rate map here. Now, if you like to compare side by side, you can click here, side by side view, and you assign here the emergence rate, and you assign this section showing population map. Let me just close the map. So you can see the difference. The emergence rate is generally good in the northeast part of the field. The population, because you are using this target population, I can just show you here. So this is the planting prescriptions. So it's generally reflected this planting prescriptions. But because of the emergence rate, some areas is bad and things. So you will see the unexpected result based on this emergence rate deteriorations. Going back to the grid. This. So this is the comparison between the different type of the data, emergence rate and the populations. You can compare the prescription for as applied map and emergence rate. Those kind of things is possible. Now, once you define this zone or the zoning map, then the grid, then you define the zoning. So you can select the areas manually by yourself, like this, maybe this south west and south areas and the southwest areas. Maybe you may like to replant instead of doing this whole thing. So you define these areas, then you will see now this area accounts for this 23 acres. And its average emergence rate here is 84.25%. So that's, you can select like this, or you can select here by color. If you select only the red areas and then the orange area like this, then you have this is 10 acres and the 79.73% the emergence. So that's the also possible. And I mean, you will be fine tuning of the region like this. So if you'd like to make it very detailed, you can do grid by grid. But I think I was considering this replant the machine operations. You may just do this selecting the section of the field roughly like maybe this. So now, once I select the areas, then you add these areas as replant area. And now you can just comment area size 25.12 acre, emergence rate 4.43%, and the population is 28.8K. So just doing this. Then you will see the replant area is added here. And you can export this to the shapefile so that you can use this area information for the planting machines for the replant operation. So that's the entire workflow, how you can analyze this stand in the field and make decisions of this stand count, or sorry, the replant. And you can also export the information as a report. The stand count report is very easy to generate. So you have all this zoning map, the result of this stands. This is the emergence rate, map. So you can see it says over 82%, or less than 82% is going to be approximately 7.5% of the field. And have this population map as well. And you will have this the areas information you define. This is 25.12 acres with all these information. So that can be shared right away to your growers, or stakeholders who manage the field to make the judgment in the field. So that's the software demonstrations, and now these solutions you need to have a good flight operations. Actually, you will fly the drones approximately 50 feet. We recommend to have high resolution images. So to do that, we need a good flight operation software, which our partner Drones Made Easy has just developed and released. So the next speakers, I'd like to hand it over to Adam, talking about this, how to fly the drones for the stand count.
Thank you, Yu. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. You know, with all this kind of situation that we've got going on, just want to make sure everyone's doing okay. My name's Adam. I work with Drones Made Easy, and we're partnered with Sony on this, providing you what we call MapPilot Ag. Drones Made Easy, we're a company formed in San Diego in 2014. We're a very small business, but even among all of our employees, we have 40 years of drones experience. We work with clients locally across the US as well as internationally. For 3 years, we've been a DJI store. And for 2 years, we've been with Sony in this. This is our second year. Excuse me. Our contact information down below, telephone number 844-312-8444, or our email, sales@dronesmadeeasy.com. I'm the enterprise sales rep. I'm the person that you'll be point of contact if you're going to be doing any kind of purchases with us, whether it's through MapPilot Ag or actually even getting the drones. I've been with Drones Made Easy for 3 years. I've been a 107 pilot for 4, and sum total, I have 8 years of experience. Our CTO, Tudor Thomas, he was one of the founders of the company. He also has 18 years of aerial imagery and quite a few more years in coding iOS applications. He's the brains behind the operation. So what is MapPilot Ag? MapPilot Ag is designed to help you with the Sony workflow. Excuse me, from flight planning, from flying the drone, and to post-flight. Everything is all in one app for your convenience. You have 2 different missions. You have the new sampling mission that we're going to be talking about, as well as a normal flight mission for your later, later in the growing season, where you're checking everything to make sure that they're still healthy, all the plants out there, all your fields, everything for the entire growing season. You can create a mission using either KML or GeoJSON files, upload those to our app, and then create the flight plan, or you can make the drone, or you can set the drone parameters yourself manually. These drones can also, our app can support multiple flights through these drones. You don't have to just have a single battery to cover an entire field. The drone, once it hits a certain percentage, will come back. You can change the battery, resume right where you left off from. In addition, we do also use the Sony sensor. So there'll be prompts in the app that talk about the Sony sensor, and we'll also power the Sony sensor. So you don't need anything outside of the drones that we provide. You don't need an extra battery. You don't need anything else. It's all within the system. But we're first going to talk about MapPilot Ag, because that's really the meat of what we're talking about today. What is it? Well, first, when you download MapPilot Ag, and it's actually on the App Store right now, so you could go see it, check it out. You'll be greeted with the screen to create a Maps Made Easy account. And the Maps Made Easy account will have access to everything, including a cloud to sync all of your flights, a cloud to sync all of your flight information, planned flights, everything's all right there. You'll be greeted with the questions to activate your device, which we provide. We'll provide a QR code, as you can see in the lower screen. There's 10 devices that you can register with MapPilot Ag. One of the things I do want to say, though, is that if you attempt to register a device a second time, it will use one of your activations. So to get around that, you can email us directly and we can reset your activations. And once you're activated, you're in. You have access to everything. So what's new with MapPilot Ag? Well, we have a new mission, and it's called the sampling mission. This is to help with the Sony stand count operations that Sony has set up with their Fast Field Analyzer 2.0. This mission is already set up by default to cover all the requirements for the stand count operations. That's flight height, that's the sampling rate, that's the speed of the drone. Everything that you need is already all set up by default. And the mission workflow is never going to change, whether you're doing a sampling mission or a normal mission later in the growing season. However, we have made some slight changes, and that's what I want to highlight, is we have a safe altitude now. And what this safe altitude means is, let's say there's your field's protected by a boundary of trees. This safe altitude says, hey, the drone needs to stay at 150 feet in order to fly above these trees. And you can adjust the safe altitude, and we'll get into that later. And then we also have sampling rate. Sampling rate is talking about, instead of an overlap in order to stitch a field together, we're taking pictures at specific points in time to make sure we get a true randomized sample of the field. And as you can see in the screenshot, we have a few different colors. Talking about safe height, that's anything in the green. Anything in the purple is going to be where your drone's actually doing the sampling. And one of the things you can see here is actually our AI is smart enough to understand that if it flies outside the boundaries, it needs to return to a safe height. So on the left, you see a regular looking field sampled just properly. But let's say we want to exclude something. That's done in the right, and you can see the drone is going to fly up to its safe height and then return down to its lower height altitude in order to get into actual sampling. A little bit more in depth about safe altitude. You can set your safe altitude anywhere from 65 to 325 feet, as well as you can turn it off. So let's say, for example, there's something that you're not entirely wanting the drone to do. You just have a slight little road that you're crossing, but you're sampling two different fields. You can turn that option off, and then you can see, same thing, I have on the left, option off, and on the right, the option on. Another feature is quick and easy workflow for you. It's about importing your GeoJSON KML files directly into Maps Made Easy. You get the file onto your iOS device. As you can see here, I've emailed it to myself, and then there's an option to share it directly to MapPilot Ag, and you'll see that in your file manager right on the beginning of the app. Now, what's the workflow? We've talked about all the new features, but how hard is it really to plan a mission, to fly a mission, and to be ready? Well, I break it down into 3 simple letters: CAT, create, adjust, transmit. When you create your mission, you can either do manual boundary creation or file imports that I just talked about. In addition, when creating it, you can save that mission and share it to anyone. You can either share it via email, you can share it by airdrop, or you can just share it to yourself if you wanted to. Everything is saved within the app. Saved missions, file manager, all imported to the cloud, all brought down to any devices that you sign in with your Maps Made Easy account. And this includes any kind of saved missions. You can plan that in the office online, take it out to the field where you're completely offline, not connected to the internet at all, and your mission will be able to run no problem, as long as it's synced to the device. Adjusting mission parameters to your needs, which means that if you wanted to, you could increase your flight altitude, you could decrease your drone speed. You can adjust these no matter what. Like I said, we have everything set up by default, but you can go in there and adjust these to your needs no matter what, whether it's battery time, overlap, rate, in this case, if it's sampling, your shutter cycle, everything is available to you to adjust. And then finally, transmitting. It's as simple as pressing a button and saying upload to the drone and watching it do its work. So in the screenshot, you can see here I've created my own mission boundary. I went out, found a field, and all of these anchor points I can adjust to create my own farm. It's very simple, very easy to do, and in 2 minutes, I have a mission plan ready to go for the sampling. And adjustments. Adjustments are all done in live time, which means that if you're making adjustments, you'll be able to see those adjustments. In this case, my sampling rate. I decided that I wanted a wider sample with this one, so I changed my cross track to 15%. My lines are much wider across. But then if I go to 20, my lines get closer, or even to 35, they get much closer. All of these are going to be reflective in active time, and you can see that in this video that I've provided, where I'm in this case changing my flight altitude. Both my flight altitude and my max speed are adjusting at the same time to say, hey, my drone is within a certain limit of parameters, so I have to make sure that the drone is following that rate no matter what height or speed I'm flying. And then finally, transmitting. Again, it's as simple as pressing a button and uploading. When you hit upload, you'll be asked to verify your path, which is with the blue line you see on the right. And once you're ready to go, you clear the flight line and launch your drone. One of the things that you will get prompted with is if you're seeing, if your remote control is not in the right setting, it's going to tell you, it's going to say, hey, your remote's not in the right setting. We need you to change that. It's also going to prompt you to check your Sony device. This is one of the things that we took as feedback, and it said, okay, we need to make sure that we're doing this. And then there's also the terrain awareness. One of the things that I'm going to be talking about a lot more of is that we have a smart system that allows you to fly your drone always at that 50 feet. Because let's say, for example, you've got a 30-meter change in altitude from one end of your field to the other. Well, how's the drone going to maintain 50 feet if it's moving across the field and all of a sudden it's now only 20 feet off the ground? Well, in this case, that's where our terrain awareness comes in. And we've set up our system where it uses satellite imagery and terrain data to make sure that the drone is always continuously flying. In this screenshot and what I will play later video, you can see some of that information. And the bottom is our terrain awareness information. Every dot is a record indicator of where the drone is going to be flying so that it maintains that optimal 50 feet above the ground. It's always going to be moving based on the directions that it needs to go. And I'm going to play this sped up video of a mission flight that I flew where you can see the drone is moving. It's always updating in real time. The information on the right, how fast it's gone, how much time is left, how high it is off the ground, everything is there for you in order to make sure that your drone is safe and flying the way it should. But then what happens after? Well, it will automatically land. You'll get the prompt that the drone is now landing. It's going to confirm that the Sony light and information is off, and then you'll be able to retrieve your information. You'll also have your CSV and KML files that are saved to your device, and you'll be able to use those if there's any kind of troubleshooting needs. We provide more than just the app. We also provide troubleshooting. And in addition to, we were talking about the cloud. What data and information is available for you on the cloud? and that information is available on our Maps Made Easy dashboard. Our Maps Made Easy dashboard shows you everything that you need to have in order to either troubleshoot, see what the drone flew, where it was, all the information of all your flights available for you on a single account. You can see here my mission plan. I set up a test mission flight. Here's my field. All my data and boundary points are set so you can see every single boundary point, as well as my flight path. It talks about where my latitude, longitude is. I can write any notes, anything of that nature, and it will be synced here. And then when I'm ready to fly it, I can sync it down to a device and it's there for me to fly. I already flew half of this flight, and you can see in this is my flight. Half of it was already flown all the way up to this point where then I needed to change my battery, so it auto returned to home. The blue line is the actual path, the white line is the flight path. And all of my information in that flight, all logged and stored here, as well as my mission. My mission is what I've already flown. In this case, I only flew that one flight, but let's say I changed my battery, I swapped out to the next battery, it would also record that as my next battery change, and it would log a second flight. All the information available to you in a single dashboard for easy viewing, easy use. I'm going to go back to so everything's there, all for easy use, to find, to view, to sync, everything available for you. We provide more than just the app. We provide the tools needed in order to have a great and effective growing season. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Contact information again, phone number 844-312-8444 or sales@dronesmadeeasy. My name is Adam. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adam, for the introduction of the MapPilot Ag. Now, I'm going to talk about this. So for the coming season, where and how you can have access to these systems. So firstly, the drone, which are compatible with our smart agriculture solution, is these type of the drones. The DJI is one of the major manufacturer of the drones, and the three type of the drones are compatible with the system. So Phantom 4 series and the Inspire 2 series. This is going to be compatible very soon. And the Matrix 200-210 V2 series. So that's the compatible drones. And also there is one the VTOL type, virtual takeoff and landing type of the drones from the company called Bird's Eye View, going to be available sometimes maybe in a month. So all these type of drones have a different flight capability. So as you goes to the right, the larger acres can be covered. And these systems can be purchased from the two places actually. The camera systems. This is sold by our certified system integrators. The Drones Made Easy is one of the certified system integrators, so you can find the systems in Drones Made Easy. And the software, this license is you can purchase at the Sony license web store. You go to this web stores and then you can pay by credit card. The pricing information of this system is the camera itself is $3,500 US, and the software. So we have two versions: standard, the plant and the business plant, and the standard is $999 per year, and the business is $1,999 per year. And the stand count, the business version, they have this stand count feature. So that's the end of the presentations. And now we like to move to questions and answers. So if you are visual verification sees an actual plant where it was marked with can flick to green and will percentage update. Mark with can flick to green. So this is maybe the manual correction the question is talking about. There is no manual corrections for the solutions. But you will have some visual verification capability for this. So next questions. What's the best timing for doing the stand counts? So it depends on the crops, but it's for the corn. I show the demonstration is we recommend the V2 to V3 stage of the corn the stage. And the next question: how will we get access to this presentation that is being recorded? Which we are going to publish this on our website, and you will receive the email where you can have access to. So you will have this notification sometimes a couple of days later from today. It is compatible with non-DJI drones. I think I covered the questions. So the non-DJI drones, the bird's eye view drone is going to be compatible with the solutions. And the next questions, which crops are currently supported? These systems is compatible with the plant which is planted in row, and the plant is separated from one to another. So if it's like an overlap one to another, then it's not possible to count. But if it's clearly separated one to another, then you can count. That said, so we tested different types of the crops like corn, soybeans, and some cottons and those kind of things. And the second questions, what is the maximum and minimum of the field size? How small of the individual zone that drone can detect? Okay, I'm interested in conducting some on farm trials and want to know at what size the planting strip would be measuring the accurate. So the maximum field size and things. So this depends on the if it's like one flight, depends on the drone flight capability. So as I show here, you have this maximum field size you can cover for this general flight things when you make the maps. But the software can process the multi-flight data into one map. So if you fly the drone several times, then you can generate still the map for this.
One thing I'd like to clarify, if I may.
Yes, please.
The coverage is per battery. So what you could plan a much larger field, and you could do it in multiple batteries, which I was talking about in the MapPilot Ag support, is once it calculates that it is at the battery maximum, it will return to home. You can swap out the battery and it will return to where it's originally started from. No, not where it started from, but where it returned to home from. So if you're midpoint in the field, it's going to return to that midpoint and resume.
Thank you. And next question is so what operating system is this software compatible with? So this is the Sony fast field analyzer is based on the Windows-based software. So that's running on the Windows, and the MapPilot Ag, the Adam, maybe you can answer.
MapPilot Ag is an iOS software at this point in time. So if you were looking to use it on an Android device, we unfortunately don't support it. But iOS device, we can also provide in our packages if you do need one.
Okay, so next questions. Do the boundary waypoint come from Google Maps based on street address? So this is, I think, a question for both. So the Sony fast field analyzer, so you can import this field boundary information from the external files, such as GeoJSONs or these shape files. So those kind of things it's possible to import to define as field boundaries. And MapPilot, Adam?
As far as MapPilot goes, it's pretty much the same thing. You can either import via GeoJSON or KML and create your own. However, most of what our information comes from is actually GPS coordinates. A lot of the either manual map creation or the GeoJSON imports are all off of GPS.
Okay, and the next question, can you modify the flight plan to have the drone fly in line with crop roll? Adam?
Yes, so one of the things, and thank you for asking this question, one of the things that you can actually do is adjust your flight path by using 2 fingers and rotating on the screen, and it will actually rotate your entire flight plan. So if you were looking to do in line with the rows, you could most definitely do that.
Thank you. And the next question is, does it work with DJI Smart Controller? Adam?
The DJI Smart Controller is an Android device, so unfortunately, no, it would not work with a smart controller.
Okay, and next is any capability to add this to the DJI Agras? One of the things we see is so as you can see this system, you can create this fast stitch map, and you can identify which areas you like to take an action, and you can export these areas information as shape files or some other KMLs or those kinds of file formats. Now, one of our partner is called Brantizo, who offers drone spraying solutions. So they have DJI-based the system, but their special spraying system. They can increase the much wider the areas for the sprayings compared to the Agras itself. So they have the solution being compatible with us. So what you can do is you may fly the drones and assess the field, define the areas maybe in the morning, and then in the afternoons you can apply some maybe the crop protections in the afternoon using the drone the application solutions. So those kind of the integration is done, and you can do that. Okay, and let me just check. Going back to the questions. What is the typical charge per acre for this type of service? So we don't offer this service from Sony side. So our software, so if you talk about the stand count, our business plan includes the stand count features and you can have this up to 15,000 acres the coverage using this business plan. And then if it's within 15,000 acres, so you can fly as much as you like. So with that, I see some of these drone service providers or these agronomists providing some services based on these solutions. I don't have the exact figures how much they're charging for, but that's how it's like. And the next question, okay. How difficult are drones to fly? Do I need a license? Adam, can you answer this?
Well, as far as manual flight, drone flying is actually not too difficult. It's basically you pick up the remote control, you learn the controls, you gain experience. If you got a very open area to fly, it's very easy to learn and very easy to pick up. As far as our system does the drone flying entirely. So all you really got to do is sit there and make sure that the drone is safe. You can take over the controls at any point in time if it seems like it's heading towards a tree or something that you didn't really plan for. But as far as flying, very easy. Do you need a license? Well, it's a bit of a gray area. So I would say yes. The answer, the reason I'm giving this answer is because the FAA defines commercial flying as bettering a business. So if you're using this drone to better your business, which stand count operations, making sure that your fields are healthy later in the year, that all seems like bettering a business. So it's something that you definitely should look at getting a 107 license for. And it's actually a very simple system. If you want, you can definitely reach out to me. We have some 107 study information that we got directly from the FAA I can send to you. And it's really just kind of learning general aviation. There's not really anything specific to drones. I say about 50% of it is common sense and the other 50% is learning how to be, learning a little bit about aviation.
Thank you. And so next question is have you ever tested this technology compatibility with sugar beets? For myself, sorry, I don't have tested. I haven't had tested with the sugar beets, but maybe my customers, some of our customers, may use that. I'm just not aware of that. But this is a row crop, so that should work. For the sugar beets, I suppose. The next question: is this software compatible with other sensors or camera systems? So the answer is no. This is compatible with Sony sensors. Because the analytics relies on all this quality of the image capturings and the data capturings, and we have a very high accurate geolocated information using our the sensor system or GPS IMU system, which we rely on for the fast processing. So if we don't have the same qualities, then we cannot support the data results. Which is why this software is compatible only with the Sony solutions to provide the best quality in the end. And so are you currently working with any crop protection manufacturers? Yes, this is the public announced information. So I'll just tell you this: so Syngenta has been working with us for quite some time now. They are the measuring the field and then using this data to provide advice to the customers and things. We believe working with the crop protection manufacturer is very important for us. to develop further use case together. So that's the answer. So next question is, maybe this is Adam. So if someone is new to drones and interested in getting into agriculture drone work, what steps would you advise for entering the field?
My first piece of advice would definitely be getting a feel for the drones out there. So definitely take a look at what consumer entry-level drones there are. With the DJI side, it's the Mavic Mini, or you could go even smaller with the Tello. Definitely start with just kind of small scale, and then you could work your way up. Our basic package for agriculture is the Phantom 4. The Phantom 4 is a nice consumer level drone, and it will help you further into your journey as soon as you take the first basic steps. So DJI side Mavic Mini, or even something smaller, just to kind of get the feel for how controls operate.
Okay. And this last question. So I have still a remaining question, so we will follow up these questions. Last question here is: have you tested in varying row widths, and how narrow of the row is it capable of? We tested this system. The data I show is a 22-inch row. So a 22-inch row, the 30-inch row is, I think, the most common used the row width. So these are tested. The how narrow of the rows. I haven't tested like a very narrow row. Which might be interesting is what use case you are assuming of. So it would be great to have maybe some follow-up conversation if you like to have deeper the point. Okay, so now it's 2 o'clock or 2:02 now. So I need to close the sessions. If you are interested in further information, you have the website here, the ProSony/Agriculture. You will have all the solution information as well as this webinar archive we had before. So this we talk about the stand count solution mainly today, but throughout the season there are different use cases like this nitrogen applications, this general scouting aid. So those kind of the use case, you can watch the webinar archive. And if you have any specific the questions, please contact me. My email address here. Then we can have a follow-up conversations. So with that, I'd like to close the session today. And thank you very much for joining the webinar. And see you again.